Hello everyone and welcome to the 2024 Throwdown the Mountain 12 presented by Sun King Disc along with Discraft. We're at the Olympus property outside of Brooksville, Florida. Great feature card for you including Charlie Goodpasture, Thomas Gilbert, Cole Wehrheim, and rounding up the card, Sullivan Tipton. And guys, what a treat. I've got none other than the Canadian himself in Thomas Gilbert on the mic. Friday night. Where else would you rather be on a Friday night, Thomas?
Oh, nowhere else, Terry. I mean, this tournament is one of my favorites, this course and this coverage.
Well, glad you could join us. Why don't you give us a breakdown on hole one?
Yeah, hole one, we got a nice little uphill shot. Forehand is going to be the predominant play here from most people. We also got a backhand turnover, a little bit trickier, but definitely viable play, and basket with some depth behind it.
And we're going to play to the blue baskets. Although the red ones are out there, we'll play to the blue baskets on every single hole out on the course.
Yep. Charlie just throwing his nice smooth shot up there. Going to be settling near the red basket, but that should leave him a really easy approach.
Not trying to bite off too much, so to speak. Get it right out of the way. Charlie Goodpasture celebrating a birthday today. So happy birthday to Charlie.
Absolutely.
You're going forehand. This looks
am.
good.
Yeah, I'd like to just try to keep it low, get a nice little skip up there, and that was one of the better ones that I've done even throughout chess.com.
Florida zone, Cole Wehrheim.
Yeah, he is known for his power on the forehand and just turns that one over a little bit more than he wants to. Probably needs to just get up in the air. But again, should be an easy approach.
And Sullivan Tipton rounds out the card. Sullivan at this event last year, I think, was going toe-to-toe with one Macbeth, wasn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. He played phenomenal last year. Definitely one to be keeping your eye on for this round. Nice goal. Leaves him a bit of a tester putt, but hopefully he's got that dialed. Sully as well. Nice little chip shot with that glow zone. Going to leave himself pretty close. And light work as well.
Charlie representing Castoplast.
Yeah, there we go. That's the way I want to start up my round. Nice little bonus birdie on hole one. Definitely feels good, especially on this course. One of the trickier holes to get.
Rest of the card looking at pars at best as Cole just barely sneaks that one in. Interesting to hear you say hole one feels like a bonus.
It does. I think it's just at the peak of a lot of people's distance on their forehands. You got to really have a almost 400-foot forehand to get up this hill, even though it only says 357. It definitely plays a full 400.
Yeah, just a handful of birdies when it was all said and done during this opening round.
Yeah, and here we are on hole number two. An interesting tee pad. Kind of feels a little bit like a tweener hole, only 386 downhill. And yeah, we go around this corner and then up to the right. Flex forehand's a common play. Also just a little chip backhand hyzer. And yeah, really hard two to get, but should be a routine three as long as you throw it decent.
So that's the route I went on the drone preview, thanks to our friends over at Swarm. But you're going an entirely different route. I was concerned if anyone would actually go this way or not.
Yeah, I'm trying to throw a destroyer, a really flippy one, and kind of corkscrew it through the gap, but don't quite execute my shot to its full potential. Charlie playing the chip shot, really good, just gets him looking straight up at the basket, probably somewhat like a jump putt approach. Oh, here you get to see the flex forehand. Really overstable destroyer, flexes out just a bit early for Cole, but I love the aggressiveness.
Yeah, and if you want to attack the pin, possibly get there for the eagle, that feels like the most common route, as opposed to seeing what Charlie or what Sullivan are doing here. They're just putting themselves in position for the easy birdie, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, Sully, forehand approach is his bread and butter, so he's going to be happy to have that shot nestle quite close to the basket.
And kind of a fun shot because you got a green light.
Yeah.
Of course, you come up short. You got a chance for a significant rollback. But in a case like that, Charlie's got green light to go after that pin.
Oh, absolutely. There's a good amount of trees that behind the basket that are probably only 15 feet away, and you're most likely hitting one of them and dropping down if you run that approach.
So you're up on the shelf and really no thought. Did you not have the line either?
I kind of could have run it, but then the hill slopes down to the left of the basket, and so if I hyzered out a little bit early, I would be going 40 feet easily down the hill. Cole gives it a cheeky little run there, but unfortunately will end up just a little bit past the basket. Sully cleaning up, nice little birdie there. And this one is absolutely one that you feel like you have to get. This par 4 feels more like a par 3 on this course.
Yeah, without even looking, I'm going to just assume this is the easiest hole on the course statistically.
Yeah.
And yeah, my math, okay, the PDGA Live checks out. Easiest hole on the course. It's twice as easy as the next easiest.
Wow.
So it played at .73 below par.
Nice. A couple eagles as
Couple
well?
eagles, yes.
Yeah, I bet.
In fact, 6 of them.
Wow.
So you have to get this one for at least the birdie. Cole's going to be left out of that club.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll head over to 3, a blind one.
Yeah, one of the fun shots on this course, you get this little flat cliffside here. You got about maybe 100 feet till it drops off. Then you're trying to hyzer up this hill on the left, be somewhere on this road. And then you have a little blind approach up over the hillside. Forehand Annie or a little backhand shot just over the ridge is kind of the way to slide up to the pin. Here I got a stable mid, trying to just land on the hillside somewhere.
Yeah, and it looks like it did just that up on the hillside. You'd
Yep.
really love to land right in the middle of that road, wouldn't you?
I would love to, yeah. Give me a nice clean standstill with a nice swing. That's the ideal spot, but going to be a little bit right. Charlie looks to come up a little bit short left. Sully throwing his quake and hopefully going to be, yep, right there, just on the left edge of the road. But he really likes that forehand approach, so I'm sure he's going to be fine with that spot. Cole, a little bit wide.
He might be getting away with one there.
Yeah, definitely, but it actually ends up in a very similar spot to Sully.
And here's where a standstill can come into play and be so useful, as opposed to worrying about the hillside and the undulation and the rocks and everything else. If you're able just to stand still and deliver, such a useful tool.
Yeah, I would say that's the most common delivery for these upshot is some sort of a standstill approach.
Charlie's going to pitch out into the middle of the fairway.
Sully here is in a bit of a tricky spot. You see that tree just ahead of him? He has to kind of go out and around it, but does it really, really well. Kind of plays off the bank of that hillside on the left and will end up just near the red basket. Here, a little obstructed by a couple things, but I got a little window that I'm going to try to punch a sneaky forehand through.
A little low, but that'll work.
Yep. That'll
Gives
give
you
me
at least a
long one.
look.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty nice little approach there by Charlie, just trying to get it up and close for an easy par.
And when this hole's playing at a quarter of a stroke over par, you're thinking par is great, birdie is a bonus, but par is just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But why par it when you can do that? Man, the putting stroke looks damn good at this point.
Yeah, definitely. That was a good putt to start the day. The first real putt I had. I guess I had a decent one on hole 1, but that one for sure felt nice to make. Sully not quite on point with the putter. Slides a little bit past the basket, but ooh, gonna leave him a lengthy comebacker. Nice. That is a much better looking stroke. Hopefully has some of that confidence in the comeback putt. Dang. Hole just leaks a little bit left. I do want to note as well that we do have this road on the right side of us, which I don't know for other players, but for me, I I almost feel like I want to time my putt when it's like a little bit quieter on the road. When I feel a car coming and it's about to pass by, that can sometimes get in the player's head.
And now we head over to 4. This one, clearly the drone preview is going to help us out, but this is a daunting tee shot, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. It's a tight gap. You want to kind of push a hyzer through it, or a pretty overstable disc flat, let it fade down to the left. Very tricky. You want to make sure to avoid the early left miss, and as well keep it from going too straight. So here I'm throwing a kind of neutral disc on a bunch of hyzer, trying to let it flip up, but I catch that bush just by the red pin, and I'm going to have some sort of approach from there.
So this is not the exact same pin, though, that we saw during chess.com?
No, it is not. It's actually a temporary pin for this tournament. No, not the FPO pin or the really long, difficult MPO pin. More the traditional pin that they use for Throw Down the Mountain.
Yeah, we've seen this one get used for a number of years. Although the tee is completely new, the pin is the most common position we've seen throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like it was too difficult during chess.com?
It was a really difficult hole. It felt, a par felt like a good score to get. Like you had to almost have one scramble shot, it felt like, to even get par. So I do like this position. I think it could have been a little more difficult for future tournaments, though.
Well, and speaking of difficult, we searched for a full 3 minutes and wasn't able to find Cole's tee shot. So that's his re-tee for a 3 at that point. But moments after the 3-minute timer was called,
yeah,
you did locate it.
I did find the disc under just a big group of sawgrass.
Off on that short left side. So he still had to go to the tee because it was after 3 minutes, had already been exhausted. So right now he's struggling to work his way through hole 4.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Charlie making it look pretty easy with that approach.
Yep, the real thing with this approach is just make sure you don't hit one of these trees. Yeah, Sully stays nice and close there, but if you hit it just on the wrong angle, you're rolling 40, 50, 60 feet easily down that hill and can leave yourself with a much trickier approach. So here I had the red basket a little bit my way and hit one of the trees, but luckily disc sits flat on the ground and doesn't roll.
Not a lot going good for Cole here on this one. Another putt of distance here after 3 in a row. Can you make it 4? Why not?
Oh yeah, sure can. Definitely helped to have that putt of a similar distance or similar type of difficulty on the previous hole. Just kind of made sure to give it height and let it go in the chains.
As a fan and a cameraman, at this point I'm thinking, damn, if his putter doesn't touch the ground, we're going to see a magical round. So I'm definitely excited about this start that I'm seeing.
I sure was too. Absolutely. Love being 4 through 4.
You got to get hole 4 here with this pin location. This plate is one of the easier holes throughout the day as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the double bogey is really going to hurt.
Yeah, just unfortunate with that lost disc penalty. I've been there before.
So we head over to hole number 5.
Yeah, one of the new holes that has come in since the Olympus course has been put into the course. Nice canyon crossing right here. Only about 310. But it's definitely a gap far away, so that's going to be tricky. Mid-range and fairway driver is probably the most common thing you're going to see. And I'm throwing my putter here, just trying to give it a lot of height to clear, and let's let the glide do the work. And kind of crashed into that sawgrass on the right, but it got pin high.
Well, I at least give you a look. I think it's going to be obstructed, but nonetheless, a look to possibly go 5 for 5. Goodpasture gets this nose up, but then all of a sudden starts pushing back down.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Used something a little bit more stable, but definitely giving it the height to get over the ridge, which is the main goal, I would say. Sully is going to be testing that height, almost going straight underneath the FPO, and Skitter's kind of about between the two baskets. Cole hangs this a little right, and yeah, going to be right beside the red basket.
Gives him a look, trying to get something going, and kind of gives up on that one right out of his hand.
Yeah, when you can just feel it out of the hand when you know.
Sully confirmed that he was just outside the circle, then makes it count. He's off to a pretty good start, 3 for 5.
Oh yeah, when Sully's jumper is on, it can be pretty intimidating.
Charlie trying to match, and that's going to be low out of his hand. But you see Swarm out there. Big shout out to those guys. They're disc golfers. They've been supporting the event. They've been supporting all the coverage for the last couple of years. I know they help out Mike Barnett. So head on over to their website. There's a link in the description. And then just fill out the contact form if you're looking for any SEO, any kind of website maintenance, things of that nature. Swarm can help you out, and we really appreciate them supporting us yet again here for this year's coverage.
Absolutely, thank you.
We'll talk your website game. We're gonna have to. We may have to talk to our friends over at Swarm.
Yes, I definitely need some help with that.
Well, I know some guys. All right, we're gonna head over to hole number 6. This one, man, a different tee from what we're used to seeing in years past, but what we saw at chess.com, right?
Yes, absolutely. This tee is really nice. It doesn't really allow you to get aggressive. Before you could get all the way up to the left and have a straight look at the basket. Now, a really good tee shot is going to leave you about 400 feet, and the more left you can go, almost the better.
And we're really hearing the first signs of wind. There was a light breeze off the previous tee, and now we're hearing it right now, and you see kind of the rustling around. It doesn't affect your shot. You're in good position, but man, almost perfect conditions out there, right?
It was, yeah. The whole tournament, the whole day was very nice. It was honestly one of the best conditions that I've seen out here.
Not too hot. Obviously, not really any clouds in the sky. The humidity was in check. Everything was just perfect during this day. A very light breeze.
Here we go. That looks pretty good by Cole. See if it checks up in the middle.
Yeah, finding short grass is the number one factor here, right?
It is, yeah. Charlie's in a tough position here. Came up a bit short, but throws a nice little skip shot to just the right side of the fairway. Ooh, yeah. Cole on that right side, but has the forehand to get up there. Takes a nice skip, and he is at the mouth of the little cubby.
Well, prime position, so making up for a less than perfect tee shot with an incredible second.
Sully, a forehand specialist himself, looking to get up there too.
Yeah, similar result. You have a uphill look, and now you've got to be loving where you've landed. What are you doing here?
Absolutely. I'm throwing a little mid-range turnover and hung this a little bit out, and it's turning, burning. Okay, yeah. Checked on the hillside, but then just rolled out a little bit down to the left.
Charlie, seemingly a little frustrated. It seems like some minor distraction got to him and then affected a few of his shots here.
But he throws a nice little forehand scramble and hopefully can clean up that putt. Sully looking just outside circle. Oh, man.
Yeah, out of his hand, right? You're thinking, okay, he's ringing this one up again,
yeah,
just like the previous hole. And you're about circle's edge?
Yeah, made couple good putts so far. Looking to cash this one. Just a little bit high right on that shot. But still felt really good to give it that much of a run in this kind of swirly wind.
I think you were surprised by it, as was I, because that looked like it was going in. It was just exactly where you wanted it to be, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Just a touch off. Charlie coming back. Feels like he's put himself on tilt at this point.
Yeah, he definitely has. That one's going to hurt. Taking a double bogey on this hole is not what you want, especially after being relatively in the middle after his second shot.
It does play as the fourth most difficult, so if there's a hole that you're going to shoot par or worse, it's not as damaging here, but nonetheless, that's a tough double bogey to swallow.
That new tee pad makes the second shot a lot longer and more difficult.
Presenting sponsor in Discraft, big shout out to them. As we know, some of those competitors you just saw are over at Texas States this weekend trying to do their thing. Best of luck as we take a look at 7.
Yeah, hole number 7, we got a nice little straight par 3. Hillside slopes from left to right. That is the main difficulty of this hole. You'll frequently see a lot of rollaways on this green, and as well, it's just some nasty rough to get into.
Well, you've got work to do. You've just fallen off the pace of perfect.
I know, right? I got to try to get back into it. That kick is going to help a lot. Kicks me just outside circle, looking right at the basket.
Very friendly. Often those will kind of drag you over to that right side, and instead you get a favorable kick, and can't say the same for Sully.
No, he catches the stuff in the middle, drops him down to the middle, so hopefully he will have a clean shot to the basket for his approach. Cole, this actually can be pretty good, keeping it low. You can usually see a bunch of ground play, but here it comes. Okay, lucky to curl up. There is some OB way down on the right side, but he finds just the right edge of the rough.
This low, smooth shot coming in from Goodpasture.
Yep. Gives a little pull tap to the red basket, and that'll leave him probably just outside circle as well, looking for birdie.
This could be trouble. That's got to check up.
Oh, nice. He tags a little tree there. Probably leaves him about 25 feet or so.
And what a big brain play there.
Right. Yeah.
There's so much danger behind this pin, and he lays up to the left side. You're trying to pick up a birdie. Go 6 for 7.
Mm-hmm. It just rushed the release a little bit there. Not giving it the full height that I need, but man, hopefully he can get it on the next one. And Charlie does it though, gives it the height and drops that straight down to the chains. A very nice birdie to pick up.
Uphill for Sully. This is to save his par.
And very uncharacteristic miss for Sully. I think just stuck to his hand a little bit. He is dealing with a blister this weekend on his third finger, and I know he was taking tape on and off his hand constantly all week.
No, misses the comeback. Oh, and then it gets up and starts to roll.
Oh, no.
You called it earlier. There's OB down there.
And it does cross OB, which is just horrible fortune for Sully. Yeah, wasn't sure on the card here if this was OB. Wanted to clarify the rules for throw down the mountain, but it was OB, so he's actually going to re-putt since it's obviously a closer lie, and hopefully can make the adjustment on this one.
Oh, and you see the branch connects with it, so he misses. Just a disaster here on 7. After such a good start, too. He's 3 under. You're perfectly content with that start.
Yeah, so that one's going to really burn him. I think he's going to end up with a 7 quadruple bogey.
I've always I preach about it. I scream about it year after year how directly behind the pin is jail, and you never want to be there. And he was not so much directly behind it. He was kind of high and left of it.
But still, those branches just came into play.
Exactly.
And can mess up a 20-footer.
Well, he handles it pretty well. A deep sigh, understandably, but overall handles it pretty well. And now we head over to hole 8.
Yep, hole 8 is a really fun shot on this course. Of course, throwing down the mountain once again. And this tree here on the right is the one you want to miss, kind of turning a shot in from left to right, or a forehand kind of penetrating more through. And then you have the basket up the cliff again on the other side.
Charlie's birdie on the previous hole. Good bounce back, first of all, and then second of all, gives him the honors.
And he throws a very nice shot there, a little low, but definitely is going to skitter up and ride on that hillside.
Kind of the line he was looking for. He just needed a little more power on it. Or height. Uh-oh, the grunt.
The grunt. Man, I just started that out way too far left. I'm trying to turn that mid-range into the gap, but luckily it just trickles down and leaves me on the edge instead of deep into those trees.
So the question I have for the world is, how do you bounce back? What do you mentally do as we're about to watch Sully step up to this tee? After a great start, he's 3 under through 7, then goes with a quad bogey. Put it in the comments. Tell me what would you do to reset potentially, or would you just remain on tilt? That's definitely an option for most players.
Yeah. And Sully, he had a great line on that shot, a low-driven forehand. The wind just lifts it up a tiny bit into that branch and knocks him straight down.
Green light here, though.
Yeah, and he gives it a good run, ends up on the back hillside, which is a good sign of giving it the commitment it needs.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. Cole trying to just punch straight through that whole forest of trees and doesn't actually make it all the way through. I was fortunate enough just to be on the edge, so I am left with the little forehand Annie up to the basket.
Well, it doesn't hurt. You have like 9-foot long arms.
That also
legs.
helps a ton. Yes.
Someone like me would have struggled more mightily with that approach.
For sure. Charlie with a nice little bid there and comes up short, but Sully will end up saving the par, and hopefully that will cool his jets a little bit, collect himself a little bit more. Oh, talking about a little thorn, Charlie Goodpasture unfortunately got a little bit of a nick when looking for his disc.
Yeah, that doesn't help whatsoever when you're out there and dealing with a little annoyance there.
With a legacy dating back to 2001, Sun King Discs has been instrumental in advancing disc golf across Florida, the U.S., and beyond. Partnering with and hosting over 500 events, including the famous Throw Down the Mountain, we are dedicated to bringing joy to players from all walks of life. Explore our extensive disc selection at sunkingdiscs.com and enjoy free shipping on orders of $50 or more. Sun King Discs. Believe in a better way.
And we head over to 9. This is very unique in that it's the same tee, but it's a different configuration for us versus chess.com, right?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a huge difference. Chess.com, you saw it up on that cliffside in the back, but now we're here at the bottom. The same hole that the FPO played, and it is definitely a more reachable shot. Charlie going with a smooth fairway here, I believe. And he's going to use that hillside in the back to just check his disc up, probably about 20, 30 feet away, tops.
Yeah, where was that flip on the previous shot, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I needed that. And unfortunately, I kicks a tree, and it's going to leave me a long look. And I love this play from Sully, but he doesn't get it quite over, and it's just going to leak left onto that hillside, potentially in the casual relief area. And Cole does the opposite, overcooks it a bit, and is going to leave himself somewhere on that hillside on the left.
Yeah, I do love this shot. It is very difficult because everybody wants to stand right on the tee and then watch where it goes, and you already can't see the pin as a camera person. So it makes it very. I was almost hoping nobody aces because it was going to be impossible to see.
Yeah.
We'll see if that can happen in rounds 2 or 3. I'll have to figure out something else. Good long bit. At least he gave it the power.
Yes, definitely. Gave it the power, gave it the height, just a little too much. But I feel like that's better to come up long than short. Ooh. Sully caught the sawgrass straight out of his hand, but luckily just continued to move forward and leave himself a short comebacker.
So you're going to close out the front 9 at 5 under. Yes, it was a blazing hot start, but you can't be too disappointed with that.
No, definitely not. I mean, 5 under on the front is a very good score, and I'm happy to continue to move forward. Hopefully get some more on the back.
Charlie picks up another birdie, fighting off the double bogey he had back on 6. That brings him back to 2 under.
Yeah, nice little stretch on the last 3 holes, getting 2 of the last 3.
And with that, we're going to close it out on the front 9. So we're going to watch Cole get into position. As I said, check out all the sponsors and the links in the description below. Click on that if you want to check out our friends over at Swarm. We appreciate their help. Sun King along with Discraft. Clay Harvey's got the hottest front 9 going. He's 6 under.
And impressed by, I believe he was one of those people to eagle hole number 2, so definitely a hot start.
We love it. All right, we'll see you in the back 9, everyone, here at Throwdown the Mountain 12.